In Pursuit with John Walsh, seen on Investigation Discovery and the streaming channel Discovery Plus, helps track down fugitives on the run and also helps find missing children. Today, I talk one-on-one with Michelle Sigona, one of the correspondents and producers for this particular show, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Michelle Sigona, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here with you today. I know that you have interviewed so many people over the last decade and so many newsmakers, not just from your area and across the country, and it's great to be a part of your show.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy to have you here because obviously you are a national correspondent and an Emmy Award-winning television journalist. And over your career, you have covered thousands of breaking and historical news stories that we all know of, including September 11th, the D.C. sniper murders, the Aurora movie massacre, and of course the Newtown school shooting in Connecticut. And now you're a correspondent with In Pursuit with John Walsh. And obviously, as you know, this particular show is obviously helping a lot of people, as far as viewers, find actually solve a lot of unsolved mysteries and also find a lot of missing children. Let me ask you, who is Michelle these days?
Who is Michelle these days? My goodness. Well, Michelle is a mom, first and foremost. I had two little kids, and one is getting ready to go into the first grade. And I tell you, it's a really busy time. Thankfully, she was in school last year for kindergarten, and my youngest is getting ready to turn 2. We spend a lot of time at the beach, especially in the summer, so I work from the ocean. But, we have such a great support system in place, thankfully. Charlie and I do, and so we're able to make all the pieces fit together. But soon we'll be heading back home and tackling the next school year.
Absolutely. And let me ask you this: who is Michelle the journalist?
Michelle the journalist. Oh my goodness. Well, I will tell you that I've covered crime for more than 20 years. I started with America's Most Wanted as an intern and also with Fox 5 News in DC, and worked my way up, really worked both of those positions simultaneously while going to college. And, through the years, I've been with John Walsh for so many years and started as an intern and worked my way up. Right now, I'm a senior producer on In Pursuit with John Walsh. And it's really such an honor. There's been so many shows over the years that I've produced on or consulted on and continue to do so. And so my schedule is packed and jammed. Every minute is accounted for throughout the day. It is incredibly busy, as you can imagine. But more specifically with In Pursuit with John Walsh, it's we have such a great difference, such an opportunity to make such a huge difference. And, John and Callahan, they poured heart and soul into this mission. And all of us have. I mean, anyone who has worked for John Walsh over the years will tell you, it's just what we do. We eat, sleep, and breathe, and we want to help people. So we get to really live our passion of television and producing and filming and doing a lot of that. But the other side of it is working with these victims and their families and helping them and helping law enforcement and doing whatever we can to bring the right tips forward.
And what exactly is that mission, Michelle?
The mission is locating these fugitives, finding these missing children, and really making these stories resonate with someone who has information. And if they have that tip, they will come forward. And we've seen it time and time again over the years, more than 1,400 captures since John began this more than 30 years ago. And I will tell you, I've been on I've worked the hotline, I've run the hotline. I have seen tips come in on cases that you would not even believe. One of the fastest captures I ever remember from the hotline was within 4 hours of the tip coming in. It was a 15 seconds of shame. That franchise is still in the In Pursuit franchise, which is awesome. So there's 2 15 seconds of shames coming up in Wednesday night show, tomorrow's August 18th, 2021, and at 10 p.m. on Investigation Discovery. And, there are two cases. One is out of Washington, D.C., Dreyon Young, and one is out of Georgia, Carousel Laya, who's wanted for allegedly killing a 5-month-old baby. But I will tell you that you just never know. You never know where someone is seen. John Walsh has helped to find people in more than 40 other countries and has had a success rate in recovering missing children, more than 60. And as a matter of fact, John Walsh and Reve helped to found the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children after Adam was abducted and murdered.
So sad, so sad. And speaking of which, the season 3 premiere of In Pursuit with John Walsh airs tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Investigation Discovery. And of course, now with the streaming on Discovery Plus, it will feature a segment on missing Orrin and Orson West from California City, California. Apparently, they're a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they were last seen playing in their backyard in California City, California on December 21st, 2020, when, according to their adopted parents, they vanished. Orrin and Orson are both about 3 feet tall and weigh about 35 pounds. When exactly were they reported missing?
So they were reported missing right before the Christmas holiday. I mean, this is supposed to be a joyous time, a time of the year when these little kids are looking forward to the holidays, and there's just great energy. And I will tell you that, when children like this go missing, especially around the holidays, it impacts obviously the family and the people who know them, but it impacts the entire community, in this case, the entire nation. I mean, this case has been covered throughout the United States of America because we do not know where these children are. And at this point, anything could come forward. According to published reports, investigators have been out at the home where they went missing from. They have searched that residence a number of times. One of the investigators that I was listening to had said, we are 110% sure those children are not inside of that house. They dug up the backyard. And so at some point, they may have possibly, allegedly been taken somewhere, or someone took them somewhere. So we have to get the word out. We have to keep the word out about this. Although reports have been done, although stories have been done, it's this wave. It's this wave with these cases. And we have to be very aware of that wave, because when things are quiet and things are low, we need to bring it back up again. And that's exactly what we are doing with In Pursuit with John Walsh. We are bringing these children back to the forefront. We are putting their faces out there, not just to a national audience, international audience, on Discovery Plus. And listen, John Walsh always guarantees this. You can always remain anonymous. You can text the hotline. You can call the hotline Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. Eastern. There's so much that you can do. You can email tips@teaminpursuit.com. You can submit your tip on the website. There's a variety of ways. And I will tell you that every single tip is passed on to investigators. And you do not have to leave your name or information. And there's no call tracing.
And let me go back to that location, California City, California, Michelle. What type of area is that?
It just seems to be a neighborhood, a safe area. This is a place where, there's a lot of background with this story, probably too much for us to even go into in this short conversation. But, these children were living with their foster family. And when they went missing, it really impacted everyone around them, the whole entire city, the whole area, every neighbor, every friend, anyone who's ever known them.
And when did the adopted parents actually saw those 2 kids last?
According to reports and from what we've learned and from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they were playing apparently in the backyard. And at some point they disappeared.
Is that particular area known for crimes? A lot of crimes?
I have not pulled the crime statistics for that particular area, so I may not be the best person to talk about that. But what I will tell you is that when they were reported missing, it was taken seriously, that this case has been worked from the very start up until now. This is in no way a cold case. This is an active, continuous investigation.
I hate to ask this, but are they possibly allegedly with their biological parents?
That's a good question. These children at this point really could be anywhere. That's why we're hoping that by shining the spotlight on them again, and putting it out there that, and sometimes I really want to talk about this for just a moment, is that people may think that, oh, well, I think maybe I saw one of them at the store. I'm not 100% sure. It was in a place in Idaho. I'm just giving you an example. You never know. If you think that you've seen a missing child or fugitive, call in that tip or text that tip, because there could be another piece of information working from that same area, and it could go together and kind of create a cluster, essentially, of information that could really guide investigators. So you never know how one small little nugget, little piece of information can guide investigators down another path.
And did the adopted parents give any kind of description of what clothes the kids were wearing that particular day?
If I'm not mistaken, they were in jackets. They were outside. They were, they were just playing and being kids, and really sort of enjoying their time. I will tell you that also, according to reports, that the surveillance camera or the video camera at the house was off by an hour. So really, it was 5:26 or 5:30 p.m. When sort of everything happened at that particular residence, or when that video was pulled.
And obviously, this happened on December 21st, 2020 in California City, California. How old would the kids be today?
Today, so the oldest child, he would be 5, and the youngest would be 4. And so, they've since had birthdays. There have been other holidays. There's been so much that has been missed in this case. I will tell you, according to reports, there's been more than 40 search warrants executed. At one point, it looks like at least 170 items seized and more than 200 tips received in this case. So we're hoping to bring that tip count way up. Right. And I mean, really hoping for, even if it's just one tip, right, that would known in and give investigators what they need to close this case and to find them and to recover them and to bring them home.
Yes, absolutely. And I know each week John Walsh leads viewers do unsolved violent crimes that urgently need to be closed, where time isn't of an essence in this particular case, and harnessing the power of ID's active and engaged audience could bring these criminals to justice. Joining John Walsh every episode is obviously, as you mentioned, his son Callahan, who leads the operation on the ground, working in tandem with the community and local authorities to search for persons of interest. What's that power of the ID today?
The power, oh my goodness, I tell you, the power between both of them. When you're watching John and Cal and you're watching them work with these families in the field, and especially Callahan, getting to meet them and work with them hand in hand. I mean, Callahan is really bringing you through these cases, and with a first-hand look and a first-hand experience. It's really powerful, and I think that it's John Walsh's success rate over all these years and decades really speaks for itself, because people trust him. Yes. They want to bring him information, and it's these tipsters that bring it all together. They help to close that circle. It's that missing link, and they just, with their tips, help to bring it together and bring it full circle.
And I know in partnership with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, that is, series will also feature 2 missing children each hour, providing age progression photos and descriptions in the hopes that viewers can provide new leads to their whereabouts. How much has social media influenced those leads?
How much? What was that?
How much has social media, that is, influenced those new leads?
How much does the media influence them?
Social media.
Social media, tremendously. There's a whole new, it's not even new. I mean, social media has been around for so long now, but considering back when I first started in this mission in 1999, up until this point, we've come a long way with social media. Social media is a humongous influence. I mean, just between the groups and the pages, we have the In Pursuit with John Walsh Facebook page. We have the In Pursuit Missing and Wanted group that you can join. On Twitter, on Discovery ID, on Investigation Discovery, on not just through the week, but especially on show night. We're putting out the information between our partners with the U.S. Marshals and also the FBI and the local, state and other investigative agencies, we can really come together and help spread the word about these cases. And people help too. I mean, John Walsh and Callahan Walsh's loyal followers, I mean, they're really helping to put the word out there.
Absolutely. And obviously, the season premiere will be tomorrow night. What can we expect more from this season?
Oh my goodness, this season, I really feel there are so many fugitives who are very catchable or zoning in on locations, places they could be hiding, their character traits, new pieces of information, age-enhanced photos. There's a lot we are bringing to the table this season. It's a whole new round of cases, and people, fugitives and missing children, some folks have never even heard of before. So that's really exciting that we get to put a spotlight on some of those new cases.
Amazing. Well, Michelle Sigona, thank you so much for your time. And again,
Thank
welcome
you.
to Quintin's Close-Ups. Oh, you're very welcome. Happy to do it.
I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for talking about, In Pursuit with John Walsh and John and Callahan and everyone, all of us. We've poured so much heart and soul and energy into this new season, and we're so excited to have it air and to make a difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
You're welcome.